Hello, Bonnie Lake sophomores. This is your credit check and course planning day.
For your reference, you've all seen this graphic before that shows how your requirements work together. It is a breakdown by subject area of all of your graduation requirements. You've all seen this graphic many times by now. It shows how your requirements break down by subject area requirements. You have all seen this graphic many times by now. It simply shows how all of your requirements break down by each subject area. This example here is just another way to look at the same thing. This chart shows how your requirements break down, and this is what the course guide shows you. For your graduating class, this is your state testing obligations. You must complete state testing in all three academic subject areas, including English language, math, and science.
Today, you will be using this tool, which combines a credit checklist for high school graduation and a credit checklist for college entrance, and also a course planning form for the future. You will write your courses into the boxes shown. You will show already completed courses, and you will also write in your future course plans. You will then go below and check off completed credits, and you will also use indicators to show which ones you have planned for the future. In the lower left corner, you will see your high school graduation requirements checklist. Each line represents one semester of a required course subject, and there are 2 semester lines for a year-long course requirement. Some subjects are specific, like English 9 and English 10. Other subjects are varied, so there is no specific course to write, such as math. It depends on which level you're on, and science. It could depend on your individual plan. But check off one line for each semester that is completed, and then we will use an indicator for how the future courses will fit your plan for completing all of these requirements. On the top portion of this form is your 4-year course plan. Take a moment to notice that the shaded boxes are grade level core requirements. In the white boxes, those are your choices, but you have to be smart about those choices. Some of the white boxes are needed for graduation requirements, such as PE, art, and CTE, but it's just up to you where those are going to fit in your 4-year plan. And then some of the white boxes are going to be your electives, but for those of you that are planning on a 4-year college, you need to be smart about making sure that you are fitting in your college entrance requirements into those white boxes.
Using this form, you will write in the courses you have taken and the ones you plan to take in the future. Also refer to the checklist below to account for all of your required subject areas. Keep in mind, you can only substitute a personal pathway for world language or half of your art if you submit the required PPR form during registration, which will be discussed later. Otherwise, 2.0 world language and the second 1.0 art credits are required for you to take.
For those of you planning on attending a 4-year college after high school graduation, you'll notice on the lower right corner is your college entrance requirement checklist. Be sure this fits into your high school 4-year plan. You'll notice that Algebra 2 is a requirement, and you generally want to plan on taking 4 years of math. You also need to make sure that you are accounting for an algebra-based lab science, such as chemistry or physics, and you should also be thinking about 3 to 4 years of science. World language requires 2 years of the same world language, and a 3rd year is preferred by most 4-year colleges. And you also want to look for spots where you can take some honors level courses or some AP options. Anyone thinking about college, community college, 4-year college, any college whatsoever, should be considering taking at least one, if not multiple, AP and honors courses while they are in high school. If you take a moment and you flip this tool over to the back side, you will notice there is a quick reference list for how to count some common class categories, such as art and career and tech ed, or CTE. Also, it will show you some 2-for-1 options. Please keep in mind that 2-for-1 options require 2 requirement areas at the same time. And keep in mind that if you are thinking 4-year college, you probably want to avoid some of the 2-for-1 options. So let's look at some of these categories. So typical fine arts, any music class, any art department class, any acting class, and some of the communication arts classes would count as your art requirement. CTE, or career and tech ed, which is also referred to as OC ed, I believe, in career cruising. Any business and marketing classes, any computer applications classes, most all of your family and consumer science classes, pre-engineering, and some other various classes like yearbook, broadcast, financial algebra also count as CTEs. And then your 2-for-1 examples would be like digital photo that count as art and CTE. And then there are some options for different types of math and science. And again, 4-year college track students should avoid using applied art or 2-for-1 art requirements for most of their art or fine art requirements, or absolutely not for any math requirements. Now we're going to spend some time looking at the other document you received today. This is your transcript. Your transcript is a record of all of your completed courses, the grades you earned, and the amount of credit that you earned. Please make sure you have your own transcript for this activity. The first thing you'll notice on your grade history or your transcript is that each grading period is listed separately. So a semester worth of courses is separated from another semester worth of courses, and the grade level is also indicated. You also have below a cumulative summary of credits earned and GPAs earned. And then below that, you have your additional state requirements. These are the things the state requires you to have for high school graduation, such as your high school and beyond plan, Washington state history, and then your required state assessments for your graduating class. Everyone wants to take a moment and look at your cumulative summary. That's where you're going to see how many total credits you have earned under credits earned and where that intersects with the cumulative category. So that's circled here in red. That's how many credits you have earned so far in high school. Then you'll notice your GPAs. Each GPA is listed separately for each grading period you have completed. Typically that's going to be 9th grade semester 1, semester 2, and then 10th grade semester 1. And then the final GPA, here circled in blue, is your cumulative grade point average for high school to this point. Below that is your additional state requirements. Typically, sophomores have not really taken any of the state required assessments for English or math, and you're not going to have your high school and beyond plan done until the second semester of your senior year. But most sophomores should have Washington State history met. So now that you've spent some time looking at both these forms, the credit planning and credit checkoff list, as well as your transcript, you're going to put these two items side by side, and we're going to begin to start checking things off and seeing where we're going. So in this process, I'm going to just look at the courses I took in grade 9, and I'm going to fill those into all the boxes in grade 9. I have 6 boxes, and I have 6 courses that I took for the year. And then I'm going to go down below to my credit checklist, and I'm going to start checking off what I already did in 9th grade. If I have 2 semesters of English 9 done, then I'm going to X off 2 semesters of English 9. If I have a year of Algebra 1, then I'm going to X off 2 of those lines for 2 semesters of math. And then if I have a year of biology done, I X off 2 semesters of science. If I have Washington State history met, then I'm going to check off Washington met for social studies. And then health and PE, everyone's done a semester of each of those. I'm going to check off a semester of PE and my health requirement. If I did a couple art classes, I'm going to check those off, and if I did a couple CTEs, then those will also be checked off. At that point, then, I go to 10th grade and I write in the classes I'm doing this year. I'm going to check off everything I earned credit for first semester. And then in the second semester of 10th grade, I'm going to write in all the courses that I'm in right now. And then down below, I'm going to put a dot or some sort of an indicator showing that I am in the second semester of these courses, such as English 10 and the second semester of math and the second semester of science, etc., to indicate to myself that I have those courses in the future and I will be earning that credit area. Don't forget that on the back side of your planning form is your quick reference for what counts as art and CTE and what's a 2-for-1. So if you're not sure what category to check off for a class, flip over that sheet of paper and check out what looks like is the category that it should fit in. And if you have any questions, you can also ask your teacher.
Next, let's spend some time looking at our personal pathway credit requirements, the PPRs, or the PPs as this form shows you. First, you'll notice in the area of art in the lower left corner of your checklist, there's 2 semesters of art that is required for everyone, and there are 2 semesters of art where you can use a personal pathway. If you use a personal pathway, you do not need to substitute both semesters of art. You may choose to substitute up to 1 credit of art. Then the same is true for world language. You may substitute any of it or all of it, depending on your high school and beyond plan. Please keep in mind that when you substitute a credit of art, that doesn't necessarily have an impact for future college plans. However, if you are substituting out of your world language requirement, there is a direct impact on future college plans. So make sure that your future plan is solid and you are 100% sure before you use substitution. And then, if you do make substitutions, down below there are lines for you to fill in what courses you are taking instead of 1 or 2 semesters of art and instead of up to 4 semesters of world language.
So now that you've spent some time looking at both these forms, the credit planning and credit checkoff list, as well as your transcript, you're going to put these 2 items side by side, and we're going to begin to start checking things off and seeing where we're going.
Now let's take a minute and look at some other considerations, particularly in the areas of math and science for those of you going into grades 11 and 12. You are recommended to discuss your plans for next year, or your 3rd year, for both math and science with your current math and science teachers for recommendations on what courses best fit your ability and your plans for life after high school. Keeping in mind anyone interested in college should take Algebra 2 and Chemistry at some point to be ready for college level math and science, and both are required for anyone applying to a 4-year college. Our chemistry class curriculum for next year will feature a little less complex math, so there is no reason for anyone to put off chemistry at any point in high school any longer. Also, 4-year colleges would like to see 4 years of math and science, if at all possible, or at a minimum of at least one of those 2 in grade 12, which they define as a quantitative course for grade 12, and they require for 4-year college.
All right, after I've done everything for 9th grade and 10th grade, and I've checked things off, and I've put indicators for the second semester of 10th grade, then I'm going to move on and I'm going to look at 11th grade. What is the natural progression of my next math class, my next science class, and then what requirements or interest areas do I need to complete? Are there college entrance requirements that I need to plan in grade 11? And all those are going to start filling into my boxes for grade 11. And then down below on my credit checklists, both for high school graduation and for college, I'm going to start writing some stuff in to show myself that I have English 11 planned and I have my 3rd year of math planned, so that I know that I'm going to meet those requirements. And then after grade 11, I'm going to check out grade 12 and probably come up with what my next options would be for grade 12 based on my high school graduation requirements and my college entrance requirements, completing all those, and then checking to see what else I might be interested in. And then I'm also going to spend some time looking at where do I need to push myself a little bit? Where do I need to do some honors or some AP options? Because I'm really going to challenge myself and make sure that I am the best educated student that I can be. Bonnie Lake sophomores. Bonnie Lake High School would like you to be aware that we want you to challenge yourself. Everybody should consider taking an AP class at some point in high school just to sample what college level work would be like and determine whether or not that's really something they want to pursue. Keep in mind that online we have our school district course catalog. This will not only show you how to count your credits in your checklist, but it also will show you what courses are available for you to request in grades 11 and 12. So you might want to make sure you check out the course catalog so you don't miss something that would have been a really great choice for you. Please keep in mind that once you have completed your course planning and credit checklist form, you need to keep this because we are going to keep referring back to it the next couple of weeks while we are planning what your courses for next year are going to be. You also probably want to take this home and discuss it with your parents on what your plan should be the next couple of years and where you're at for your graduation requirements. You will be using Career Cruising Course Planner in the next couple of weeks to also look at your credit status and compare with your planning form. Continue to think about your course options for each subject area and which courses are offered that will meet your personal interests as well as your requirements. And if you're not sure about where you fit or where you might want to push or challenge yourself, we absolutely encourage you to talk to your teachers to get their recommendations on what some of those next year or next level courses should be for you.